We had our disagreements. Where we did agree is that he would go to these college campuses and proclaim the name of Jesus Christ. And ultimately, that is why he was killed. Everyone will be persecuted for the sake of Jesus Christ. Anyone, everyone, fighting and winning that spiritual battle for Christ and for his kingdom will be persecuted for his sake. And I don't believe Charlie Kirk was any different.
The guy who spent years calling Kirk part of the establishment, the guy who thought he sold out the base for warm milk and TikTok dances, you expect a smirk, maybe a sneer. What you get? A eulogy that feels real, unscripted. He calls Kirk a towering figure, says he did things Fuentes himself can't do, hosted a 3-hour show daily, ran the biggest youth org in conservatism, debated anyone, anywhere, all before 31. And yeah, Fuentes admits he wouldn't debate Kirk. That's the kicker. He didn't have to agree with him to see the sheer, terrifying scale of what Kirk built. Turning Point USA didn't just recruit students, it moved voter rolls. It changed the calculus of campus politics. Now, with Kirk dead, the question isn't just who's next, it's can anyone fill that void? Because if the right loses, for example, a person like Nick, who is a growing popular voice for the youth of America, then the entire conservative movement might just lose its most potent engine for the next decade.
He was my opponent, but I would never wish death upon him or anything like that. And Charlie Kirk never had a kind word to say about me in his life. Now that he has died, I'll say some kind words about him. Although I didn't agree with him, I considered him a part of the political establishment. In many ways, I considered him part of the problem. In spite of that, it is undeniable that he was a towering figure in American conservatism. It's undeniable. He was ambitious. He was a hard worker. He did things I cannot do. A lot of people said after his passing, I saw some people make oblique references to it. They said, well, if Charlie Kirk was assassinated, now the far right will step up. I don't know that there's anyone that could fill his shoes. I don't know that there's anyone that can do what he did. He died at 31 years old and left a legacy that many people could not achieve in many lifetimes. He hosted a show 3 hours a day. He went and faced down his enemies in debate. He would take on almost any challengers. I say almost because he wouldn't debate me, of course, but nevertheless, would debate anybody, anywhere, stare them down, and people don't know how difficult that is. He would sit there for hours on any subject, and then he would return home from the command center and direct the largest youth organization, the most ambitious project in conservative politics maybe ever, and he did it all before the age of 31. An absolutely brilliant, sharp, fierce warrior for his values and his beliefs. And as I said, I disagreed with them strongly. I'll make no bones about that, and that hasn't changed. But you have to admire that this was a fighter, this was a worker, this was a champion, and above all else, maybe this is what I respected about him the most. We had our disagreements. Where we did agree is that he would go to these college campuses and proclaim the name of Jesus Christ. And ultimately, that is why he was killed. Everyone will be persecuted for the sake of Jesus Christ. Anyone, everyone, fighting and winning that spiritual battle for Christ and for his kingdom will be persecuted for his sake. And I don't believe Charlie Kirk was any different.
Yeah, that is true. For years, Kirk called Fuentes a Nazi, a troll, a fringe lunatic. If I can remember, pretty much every interview, every tweet regarding Nick was, Fuentes is poison. Don't listen to him. He's not one of us. And now he's dead. And Fuentes doesn't take the shot, doesn't say serves him right, doesn't even say he was wrong. He just says, I won't winch death on him. That is a response of a God-fearing man, unlike the far left who are celebrating his death. Really disgusting stuff. Because if you're going to fight a war, you don't waste your energy hating the soldier who died holding the line, even if he was fighting on the other side of the trench. Fuentes knows the enemy isn't Kirk. The enemy is the system that killed him. And if you're still mad at the guy who got taken out, you're already lost.
And the least that you could say about Charlie Kirk is that he died professing a faith in God. He died professing the truth. Let us be so lucky, in a way. I don't count him as lucky. It's a horrible tragedy. Years taken, memories, but ultimately martyred for the sake of the truth, for the sake of mercy, for the sake of the unborn, for the sake of children affected by all these diabolical, perverse things. He will receive a handsome reward in heaven for it. May he rest in peace. God bless Charlie Kirk, his family, his daughters, everybody, his enemies, his friends, everybody in the country. Let us truly see each other as children of God. Let us all see God in everybody. Let's be charitable towards one another in our words and our actions. Let's be slow to anger. And I know it's rich for me to say that. I'm a very volatile person. Let us be slow to be angry, wrathful, vengeful, judgmental. Let's try to be kind, compassionate, understanding. But at the same time, let us be strong, tough, clever when we need to be. Let us defend the people we love from those that are trying to hurt us. And God, give us the strength, the prudence, the perseverance to defeat this evil with some finality in our lifetimes. And it may be a long time, but let us see it through to the end for the sake of everybody.
Here's the moment the whole left loses its mind. Fuentes doesn't say Kirk was killed because he was anti-woke, or because he ran ads against gender ideology. He says he was killed because he proclaimed the name of Jesus Christ. And that's the real traitor. Because the woke machine doesn't care if you vote Republican. They care if you pray out loud on campus. If you tell a kid, Jesus saves. If you turn a dorm room into a Bible study. That's the line they'll kill over. And Kirk crossed it every single day. Fuentes didn't just honor him, he elevated him. He didn't say, we're both right-wing. He said, we're both soldiers in the same war. And that's the shift. No more infighting. No more who's purer. Just who's still standing. Well, these are the recent developments on this situation. Man, it's really a sad time we live in. I will be updating you all with all the latest stuff. I am on a mission to contribute on the push of Nick onto the mainstream media. I think it's about time. So, like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.